Well, we're down here with Mr. Paul Kelly, a gentleman who comes from Rush, and we're down here in Cork, where he's now living. And Paul, great to see you.
Thanks, Norman. Thanks for coming.
Why did you come down here?
Well, I suppose I travel around a lot to seek different sorts of landscapes and inspirations for painting. So it's all to do with painting.
It is. That's the bottom line.
That is the bottom line. That's how we spend our life. So.
Well, can I ask you just, how did you get into art in the first place? I mean, you've been painting as long as I know you, about 30, 40 years.
40 years, yeah.
It must be that length, yeah. And you're still at it, a middle-aged man now. And how do you find it as a kind of a career? Would you recommend it?
I find it's a life. It's a life that you dedicate yourself to painting. You have to. You can call yourself a painter, but I think we're fine art painters. And the fine art is the bit that defines us.
Yeah, absolutely. The old tradition.
Yeah,
the old tradition.
And I mean,
when you actually started off, did you aspire to be an artist, or were you just kind of more or less developed as you went along and just became an artist, or was it a divine plan, in other words? No divine plan, but I always knew I loved drawing and painting. Drawing primarily. And the key to it all is encouragement. I mean, my parents were really good at encouraging me. Yeah, it's so important, yeah.
My grandfather, he was a cabinet maker. We sat down, drew matchstick men. He'd give me some money and I'd go and buy art materials. And I suppose, being from Rush, we left Rush National School and we went to a convent run by the nuns. St. Joseph's had become a co-educational school, and as a result they had to hire in male teachers for the male students. There was 26 of us, and they had this fantastic art teacher. His name was Jim Cogareth, and he I suppose he encouraged us. He took a shine to me because I was interested in art, and he took us to places like the National Gallery. We were from Rush, 20 miles into Dublin, go to the National Gallery, and I seen the Irish Impressionists.
Who were they?
Walter Osborne, William Orpen, Lavery, all the great Irish names. And, you know, so he took us in on the bus, and that made a huge impression on me. That I said, look at these paintings. You were determined. Look at the light in these paintings. I mean, it opened up a whole world. And I just said, I want to do this.
That's what you want to do.
That's what I want to do. The William Leach, you know, the Convent Garden.
And how did you actually manage to kind of become a full-time painter, artist? I mean, surviving is difficult enough, just painting without trying to make a decent living out of it. And you end up here in this beautiful house with masterpieces everywhere.
I already, when I was in school, had 2 exhibitions under my belt. The nuns gave me the convent hall in Rush for a weekend when I was in third year and 5th year. And I put 50 paintings in the convent hall, and I actually sold all 50 paintings every year for £5–10, that sort of price range. So I did my portfolio for college. Unfortunately, I didn't get in, but luckily enough, an animation studio had opened in Dublin, which was Sullivan Bluth Studios. And I took my same portfolio, just turned up at reception.
That was the launching pad.
That was it. That was it. And it was fantastic.
And there was no looking back after that.
No looking back. I didn't.
I mean, you spent what was it? Something like 12 years in animation.
12 years in animation.
And 3 of those years were spent in America.
3 in America.
With Don Bluth.
But when you go back to thinking about I was 17 when I started working for Don Bluth Studios, and I mean, the closest thing we had to watching Americans on television was Dallas. You know, J.R. Ewing and Sue Ellen. And then suddenly we had 70 animators and background painters come over to the studio, confident, loud, talented
I know.
people.
I know.
And
we were so inhibited and.
Well, Ireland in the 80s was a very different place, you know.
It was, absolutely. Yeah.
And we were so blessed. That,
we were very lucky, really, right?
Yeah.
Because I worked with you, so that's why I know exactly what you're saying. That when you're actually in Ireland and you're trying to become a painter, where do you go? How do you learn? I was fortunate that I was able to get to the art college, but even then there was no guarantee that I was ever going to get a job. And then I was fortunate, just like you, to get into Don Bluth's studios. We'll talk a little bit about that. So when you actually got into the studio, obviously there were great American painters worked for him, so they came to Ireland, and that's where we really learned.
Yeah,
that was the stepping stone into
we got an opportunity to move around the studio.
Yeah.
So you could try different departments, and you're actually encouraged. You know, you could be a special effects artist, you could be a cleanup artist, you could be an animator. And I was a cleanup artist on John Pomeroy's team. But I just found cleanup so repetitive, drawing after drawing. And my nature is not like that.
That's literally cleaning up
the drawing, other people's work,
scruffy work,
But when I see it on screen now, I'm actually quite proud of the fact that The Land Before Time has become one of these classics. But really, when, like yourself, we had the exact same experience. We walked up to the 5th floor, opened the doors, and we were in the background department.
I know.
And we looked at all the colour keys on the walls, and it was like amazing. I mean, the colour keys are basically coloured storyboards. And Don Moore was the colour key artist,
he was the
stylist.
wasn't he? He was probably one of the best background artists that ever existed.
I think so,
in any film.
And there he was in the same room as us, you know.
You actually have some of examples of his work here, haven't you?
I do, yeah. I actually have copies of. The Secret of Nim, I think, is Don Bluth's masterpiece. It has to be. I mean, it's painterly. There was 3 background painters. It was Ron Diaz, Don Moore, and Dave Getz, and they all are fantastic artists. And this is why I wanted to be a background painter. I just looked at these backgrounds and.
But we aspired to reach that level they were, and these guys were at it for donkey's years. And we kind of thought that, you know, if we could just get in with these guys, that we'd become as good as them, you know. And we kind of did to a certain degree. They're wonderful.
When you have these guys showing you and teaching you, and then you're required to paint 1 background a day. That was the job. That's 5 backgrounds a week. So you had to become very quick. Your eye had to become very quick.
It was really the perfect job for if you were a painter, wasn't it? Why would you get a job as you paint cartoons all day long, you know?
I know.
And get paid.
I know. Like these are photocopies of the backgrounds without the characters.
Beautiful.
So this is what we would have painted. But look at the washes.
Oh, beautiful, absolutely.
I mean, this is technically painted in about half an hour. Most of the important details are put in the wash. And the skill to be able to do that.
I know.
It took a long time to...
absolutely. To learn it,
you know.
But I mean, these are kind of skills or tricks that these guys developed, you know, through the Disney, that whole animation scene. That people outside didn't know how they did it, and for these guys to come over and show us their skill and their tricks, you know, we were very lucky.
But it's actually real painting. I mean, we were using brushes and gouache.
Not like now where it's all computers. It's a different world today.
Plus, when we painted backgrounds, we had access to Don Bluth, because every week we'd have the meeting and he'd be approving the work, and you'd be having direct contact.
So all this, what we see here and talking about animation, is really the foundation of where you are, what you've become today as a painter. And that was your background. That was how you learned. That was your training.
It was,
it wasn't art college. So really,
it was on the job.
If they hadn't have actually come over to Ireland, we wouldn't be as good as we are today.
Well, it's opened up the whole industry, our Irish animation industry.
It is, and now there's 33 apparently studios in Ireland, thanks to Don Bluth. That's why we're giving him a plug right now, because he really did launch a lot of artists, put them on the road to success. Now, of course, it's all
well, when it
computerised.
changed to computer, that's when I lost interest.
That was the end of that.
Yeah. So I'm not one of these people that specialises in any particular thing.
No,
I love harbour scenes.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
every genre. Yeah.
Everything. And I suppose that's why I move around a lot, and we're here in Cork now, because Cork is such a huge county. I think I'll be 10 years trying to explore my way around. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
You know? But it's the lifestyle that it gives you. It was a great time in Ireland when the Celtic Tiger came, and we got 5 or 6 good years, and an artist was able to sell his work and make a decent living. I don't think there was any fortune in it, but I was able to raise a family through my paintings up to a certain time, and I mean, what a privilege. I mean, nobody got to do that before us. There was nobody, and I don't think anyone afterwards either.
Well, I remember when I was, me being a bit older than you, that the guys that taught me in the art college, and most of them just painted maybe half a dozen pictures a year, but they were full-time artists. They considered themselves artists, but they all taught because you just couldn't make a living as a full-time painter. And during that period it was the 80s or 90s, people were actually advised by the government to invest in paintings. Of course, anybody who could paint with both hands, we were all lashing them out. And then the crash came, and that was the kind of end of that.
The end of that.
But only the real purists,
the dedicated,
stayed with it.
Despite
and
the fact that
even though now you're struggling and financially and that, trying to
selling paintings is difficult, you know. But
you still had the same passion. And you want to, and you just keep going.
Well, after 40 years, there's not much. Or I'm going to be able to. But no, it's travel was a great thing for like during the animation years. I got to travel a lot of places.
You went to America. You worked with Bluths over there in
America,
Phoenix, Arizona,
for 2.5 years. But I also traveled to Australia, Thailand, Taiwan, and. You know, it just feeds. It's like you go different places. It feeds your creative.
I used to go to your exhibitions way back, and you'd have a team. Like you'd have, for example, paintings of Lambay Island, and the whole exhibition would consist
of Lambay Island.
And then you had one then on masks, the Mask Festival in Venice. And then you had. Did you have one on that Spanish?
Oh, Holy Week in Spain. I've also been to Morocco. But I never intend that, you know, to do a whole bunch of pictures. It just, one picture leads to another one. Leads to another. And then before you know it, you've got an exhibition and a story of places you've been and things you've seen. And that's the people, the landscape. It could be anything, like a still life in a window. It's like what Matisse used to paint.
So when I notice about your work is that you, when you get interested in a particular theme, or you go to a particular country, you just paint like about 150 pictures.
Well, I do a whole
and you
bunch.
Really go into the bones of it.
I could get 6 months straight solid painting, where I'm painting every day. And then suddenly I get tired and I'm
worn out.
I'm fed up then, and I have to move it then on to something different. But that's the story of the artist, you know.
Well, other artists now would, like myself, for example, I'd paint. If I went had an exhibition, there'd be a painting of Cork, one of Spain, one of America or something. While you're kind of more inclined to kind of like.
I am now, but my Irish pictures, my Irish exhibitions though, I'd follow the seasons. So if we woke up and it was snowing, I mean, God, it's going to inspire a snow picture.
That's right.
You know? Or you wake up early in the morning, it's misty, you know, the summer mist, the heat's rising.
But your earlier exhibitions, I remember when you lived in Rush, were all of the farmland, the vegetables, and the fabulous paintings of cabbage.
That's where I grew up. I was born under a head of cabbage. That's what my mother used to say.
I know. But that's part of what you are today, you know.
But Rush, you have to remember, Rush had a good history of artists visiting. Painters visiting Rush.
That's right.
We had Walter Osborne came out and he painted a whole bunch of great pictures. Rush Harbour, the main street.
That's right.
We also had Paddy Leonard was from Rush. He's a Rush man. He's fantastic harbour pictures. Kieran Clear Did the Moonlight landscapes.
James English.
James English was there. Our friend Des Fitzsimons was out there.
Yeah.
And that's actually how we met, was through Des.
Through Des, yeah.
So Rush was full, like it attracted. We had the thatch houses for Walter Osborne. He was, you know, but there's a whole line of, and I think I'm just one of those. And there's a whole bunch more people out there now that have moved to Rush, and they're doing fantastic.
But those allotments that, you know, you're going down the little streets and the walls, and you look over the walls, and there's all these allotments. People are out in the fields picking tomatoes and growing cabbage.
But it's like
great inspiration.
It's the subject, like the Newland School, you know. George Clausen, he painted the turnip.
His local areas.
So I was looking at these paintings, wanting to paint Rush like those. Well, I did. I don't know, but that was my inspiration. Really, I could see it being an artist colony, which I suppose it is. Looking through the history of the paintings of Rush, you could do a whole exhibition on. On just Rush paintings alone.
But I'll tell you what we'd like to do. I'd like to maybe see you, give us a demonstration.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go up to the studio.
And show us some of your work.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And we can have another little chat.
Yeah.
Okay, back in a minute. Well, here we are now. We're actually up in Paul's studio in Cork, and he's going to give us a demonstration of his artistry. What are you going to paint for us, Paul?
I'm going to do a quick demo. This is Cathy's brother, Alan.
Oh, yeah, very good,
He's the golfer I told you about. I just like the red and the green, and it's going to give big impact straight away.
Great.
What I'll do is I'll just do a quick demo. It won't be anything that has
just
anything, but just the process.
Yeah, just the process.
So,
great.
Okay, so basically just indication lines.
Yeah.
It's probably the way you do it yourself.
Yeah.
You basically start off.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to keep this. I like the composition. It's just straight. Just to indicate basically the shapes. I'll come down. There's not going to be anything really much in the way of the background. So it's just indications. So very loose. I'm not normally used to having a camera.
Yeah.
So it's just to get the indications.
You got a likeness already.
Move brushes. So what I'm going to do is start with my darks.
Yeah.
Which I think is
the old traditional method.
Traditional way. So I'm just mixing my colours here. So my paintings start off like a watercolour approach.
Yeah. Like thin to thick.
Thin to thick. Yeah. So I'm just really putting down.
Put all the darks in first, and you work your way up.
Work your way up, but you're comparing like with like. Yeah. So you've got to remember that in this picture, you've got a lot of green reflections, which is also going to be in front of them, which is going to give you the under.
Yeah. The reflected light.
Anything under the chin, under the nose, is going to be probably just going to give you the under.
Yeah. The reflected light.
Anything under the chin, under the nose, is going to be probably in green in reflection. And plus, you've got the sky above, which is the sunny day, so it's going to be blue.
Yeah.
So that's going to, I know he's wearing a cap, but that's going to indicate anything on the top surface.
Yeah.
Surfaces. So the top of the nose.
So it's all reflected light.
It's absolutely all about the light.
Yeah.
But the thing about painting is it's all about the values, the tones. It doesn't really matter about the colour.
Yeah.
If you get the right values, I mean, you could paint. You could paint. You could go mad. You could paint anything. That's what you go right into expressionism if you wanted, and take it across from reality. But the trick is to get as much information down as quickly
as you can,
as possible.
So what you're doing is really blocking in the basic shapes.
Blocking it in,
and then you will add the details later, obviously.
Yeah, and I probably won't even add in a lot of detail. I actually think there's enough with the colour.
Yeah, to do the job for you.
To actually do the job. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And you're putting a lot of the little reflected light from
well, it's from
the
what
sky and the grass.
What I mentioned,
yeah.
It's thinking ahead.
Yeah.
So.
And keeping it almost transparent and very thin.
Oh, that's what I do.
And then you work towards thick paint then at the end.
It's fat over lean.
Yeah.
So the darker colours are more transparent, and the lighter colours are built up more to a buttery sort of a consistency. Thicker. So getting some of that in. Now don't forget, some of that will go cooler because of the reflected light from the sky, and then I'll actually be adding green into
I see.
the red as I come down, because indicating the reflection of the grass. But the reason I picked this image is really because what's going to happen now is I'm going to shoot some red just to get an idea. It's going to be here.
Very nice.
There's going to be some little indications of that. Now look at the colour of the ears, isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
So a bit more pink.
Well, the band right across the face is warm, isn't that right? The nose and the ears, the cheeks and the centre of the face, It's really a process of corrections, isn't it? It's constantly correcting.
It's all a process, and the last thing really is the likeness. I mean, I'm not worried about the likeness.
No, you don't need
at this stage.
No.
I'm just looking at bulks of. Bulks of colour. So you can see
this me standing here with you now reminds me of when we worked in Blutes together.
We would teach you background.
I'd call you over and say, "Help me."
I always thought it was. I mean, the way we started watercolors is a different approach. We start from light to dark instead of dark to light. And anytime a phone call would come in, because the wash was the most important part. That's where you put down probably 50% of the information, the grasses, anything in the background, the clouds. And then the phone would inevitably ring as Norman Teeling in, and I'd go, oh, he's in the middle of a wash. He can't come to the phone right now. So you wonder, what are people going to think we're talking about with a wash?
Having a shower.
Having a shower. Now, I know the drawing of the head is not right yet. I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to correct. It's more of an oval shape. But that's basically the start of the process. Now 2 more hours down the line of huffing and puffing and a cup of coffee and coming back and seeing it with fresh eyes.
But you can see the bones of it there. I mean, it's more than that. It's actually half finished or more so. It looks, even as it is, it looks great.
Yeah, and it depends how far you really want to push it. I mean, by leaving some of the canvas showing through,
that gives it another.
It gives it a layer of interest that when the viewer comes to look at it, you're not just looking at a picture of a guy in a golf course.
So what you're really trying to avoid is a photorealistic painting.
I'm not. You're trying to add much more information, and that's the difference between. I mean, I know I'm using a camera in this case, but the experience that you have with painting outdoors, painting from life. You retain all that information, and by retaining it, you're using it in every painting that you use down the line. So that's
it. Well, what we'll do is you can finish it off in your own time.
And I'll send you an actual
Brendan
picture of it.
The finished thing. Paul, I particularly like this painting, and I had an opportunity of buying it, but you got in before me.
I know.
And this is by our mentor, you might say, Sonia Pinch-Pong, who's from Thailand, Chinese, lives in Los Angeles, American citizen.
An absolute master.
And paints in a Russian style. You can work that out.
That's right,
So your own painting, you were saying to me that you were going to, when I asked you, would you like to give a demonstration? You said no problem. And did you have this in mind?
Always have this in mind. This is with even a landscape or a Harper thing makes no difference. What you see here, and we'll talk about Sonny in a minute. He's an absolute master at painting, and it's. I mean, look at the skin tones.
I know, amazing.
In that picture. Now, just compare them to my skin tone.
Yeah.
And there is none of this in that. But what he's done is he's painted an outdoor scene, a girl in the garden.
I know.
With all the reflected colours we talked about on the demonstration, the coolness of the sky above, the reflection from what she's wearing in her t-shirt, but not 1 ounce of pink. Take my hand away, look at that piece, and it's completely believable. Completely believable. And it's a patchwork of different colours. You know, he's actually sculpting paint onto. He's following the form of the head, like the forehead. Look at the shape of the brush strokes. He's actually sculpting with paint, and you can't do that unless you have so many years of experience, which he has. And by seeing him, when we first seen Sonny's work, it was in the Polo Gallery just off Molesworth Street. And you've got to remember that the art books I used to buy at the time, back in the 1980s, were all black and white, maybe 1 or 2 colour reproductions. And then we walk in to see what this man can do with colour. Never seen anything like it before. He brought the Russian style of painting over to Dublin, and our jaws dropped.
I know.
I mean, we've never seen anything like it. And that's what inspired me to want to be around him. I mean, I painted backgrounds with him, but every Monday morning I'd come in. Sonny would have all the time of the weekend, and there would be paintings, his own landscape paintings, a view out the window, a portrait of somebody in the studio he would have asked to sit. But every Monday morning I'd skip into work and I'd go, what am I going to see now? What am I going to see now? And I'd always see something exciting.
I know. Well, Paul, we're out in the back of your house in your garden, and we have here, would you like to tell us what these pictures represent and who they are by?
Well, these are Sonny Pinchapong's paintings that I've collected over the years. I suppose we're in the garden gallery, the Sonny Pinchapong gallery, and I mean, you asked me what inspires me to paint, what keeps me, motivated, and it's these pictures. These pictures, just look at the colour. Look,
absolutely beautiful. They're not the type of picture you see normally. The colour, I mean, here in Ireland, you don't really see this kind of colour.
No, and it's not even the fact that I paint like this at all. I mean, it's really just it's the experience they're giving me, and it's excitement, it's the colours, but it's more than that, it's the brush strokes. It's also knowing about Sonny's history, how committed he is as an artist, his journey, and he's still painting.
Of course, he is
most
half
days
Irish,
now.
Isn't he?
I think we've adopted him.
He is, because he's been here. He worked here in Don Bluth Studios for many years. And anytime he's been over here, many times. Come back over on holiday and stayed with us. But he always thinks of Ireland as his second home.
He's very fond of it. Great memories.
He's always,
I think it was a great time in his life.
It was,
and he's had 3 or 4 exhibitions now here in Ireland. The first one I think was 1988 in Dublin, and as I said,
sellout show.
And those pictures are still out there. They don't appear on the market, which is a tribute to him, because people want to keep those pictures. But I have another picture here, Norman. Which
is this another Sonny Pinchapong?
This is one. It's actually owned by a friend of mine, but I recently had a sneak peek.
And this is one I've never seen before.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that Spanish dancer.
Isn't that beautiful?
Isn't it a masterpiece?
Absolutely. Look at the hands and the way he actually has the light.
The bracelet, the ring, the pops of colour, that pop of red.
My God.
What do you think?
That's a museum piece, really, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
And who owns this?
This is a friend of mine, Rusty Stoll, but I'm minding it for him. I'm quite happy to do so.
You're going to steal it from him?
I hope not.
My God.
Yeah.
That must
be life-size, Norman. That's a life-size painting. I mean, you go into a museum and you see a Sargent or a Soraya.
But that is a Sargent or a Soraya.
Isn't it? Yeah. Again, it has all the brush strokes, everything we talked about in one picture.
So this is the master from Thailand, our mentor, Sonny Pinchapong Yang. Just to get the name straight. What do you think of that?